Welcome back, guys. We are here diving into the story of Bealtaine. What is Bealtaine? It is the fire festival in Ireland. It is the opposite to Halloween, and in Ireland, possibly our oldest festival. We're going to explore the importance of yellow flowers, hares, magic, and the holy wells, not to mention how it has impacted Irish culture. So what are you waiting for, guys? Get ready, light the fires, and let's go. Now let's talk about the holy wells, because they were an integral part of Bealtaine as well. It wasn't just about fire cults, it was water cults too, and the properties of water to heal as well as fire. So people, they would have come here to holy wells just like this one to cure all manner of ailments. This one specifically dealt with blindness. Now on May Day, it was said that the first person to collect water, well, they were blessed, because that first collection of water was the most powerful, and they would keep it for the year, and they would sprinkle it out to their animals, and they would use it anytime they needed to resolve bad fortunes or any famines or any issues of illness with their animals or with their loved ones or even with themselves. And they needed to make sure they were first. So any farmer or landowner who had a holy well on their land, they would stay up the night before, guarding it fiercely against not just people who might try and steal their good luck, but the fairies who might come and meddle or put some sort of a curse onto their well. So if you have a holy well near you, make sure that you're up bright and early to get that magic healing from your water. Now let's talk about the May bush, or the May tree, and the ribbons to make our wishes come true. Because everyone wants a wish, but we don't all have genies. In Ireland, instead of genies, we had the fairy trees. Normally you'd stay away from the fairy trees, because the fairies, they like to be left alone. They like to be left in peace. And anyone who messed with them, anyone who cut their tree or meddled in any way, they were inviting catastrophe down on their heads. So you avoided them all year round, with a couple of exceptions. May Day, of course. Bealtaine was one of them. And Ireland was a great place to meet a fairy. So all you had to do was come down, and with your ribbon, it could be blue or it could be red for a wish to do with love, or it could be gold for money, but maybe green was a better one, because of course if it was gold or yellow, the fairies didn't always like that, and again you might be angering them. You also had to stay well away from more important trees belonging to the fairies, just in case. So you hung up your ribbon on the branches, and you made your wish, and you usually left a little bit of an offering too to them. So again, guys, if there's anything you wish for, if it's anything at all, come down here to one of the forests, find an old fairy tree, be very respectful, and leave your ribbon. But if they don't grant your wish, don't go looking for revenge, because the last thing you want is an angry fairy on your tail. We are here standing inside of a fairy fort. We must be careful not to disturb anything, or bad luck and tragedy will befall us. It is important though to showcase the flowers, because flowers were essential for Bealtaine, yellow especially. The yellow flowers, why were they important? Well, because the fairies seemingly didn't like the colour yellow, and if people wanted to bless their homes, they would come here for the 30th of April. They would collect either, they could take rowan, hawthorn, holly or sycamore branches and yellow flowers, and they would decorate the outside of their homes with these gifts or these tokens. And they wouldn't just do that, they would take them and put them in front of their doorways, in front of their windows, and most importantly around their fields, the boundaries of their land. And that is because these flowers protected you from fairies and the supernatural. But they weren't so much worried about the fairies, they were much more concerned about the Cailleachs, because these witches, they would take the form of hares on Bealtaine, and they would enter your fields in disguise, and they would go up to your cattle and they would drink all of the milk. They would drink them dry, and your cows would be barren for the year to come if they achieved this. So this was your way of preventing the Cailleachs from entering. And for your home, you all, as I mentioned, you left the sticks, you left the flowers on your entrance, and when you heard a knock on the door, you did not open it, because the Cailleachs were going to disguise themselves as beggars, as older people, and try to gain entry. And if they were inside your house on Bealtaine, they would steal your luck. So no matter what, you can be very rude on Bealtaine and tell everyone to get lost and enjoy your Netflix. Now, Bealtaine is one of the 4 pagan festivals in Ireland. We had Imbolg, Bealtaine, Lunasa and Samhain. And of course, every 3 months. So the opposite in the calendar year from Bealtaine is Samhain. And everyone knows Samhain now as Halloween, the night where the fairies and the supernatural creatures come out and search for us. But people always forget that Bealtaine is a time very similar, where the veil between our world and the other world is at its thinnest, and all manner of creatures can make their way over. So it's very important to lock your doors, collect your yellow flowers, don't ring the bell, and be very respectful of the fairies, the Cailleachs and the Pukas. And I can tell you right now, as we're filming, we have a couple of couples, the horses, travelling around, wandering around, trying to find their way into us. And for those that don't know, the horse was the favourite form of the puka. So shh. Bealtaine being the fire festival, we had to light fires all across the country. It was vital, because we wanted to use them for 2 purposes: for purification and for protection. That wasn't just for the humans, it was for the animals. And so you would light, in every community, you'd have a fire here and a fire here, roaring, and the animals would pass between the flames. In some cases, we would even include people walking through the flames, or even sending the animals through, especially if you thought that they were cursed or possessed, and they would step through the flames to show their purity, to show they belonged, and to ensure that all was good. Because if you failed to do this, you were at the mercy of powers beyond your comprehension. So, as Bealtaine approaches, as we have gathered our firewood and we prepare for a fearsome sight, our flames will burn high into the night sky tonight, even in spite of the rain, because we must celebrate and maintain these traditions. And another little hidden gem for you, for this time of year, for Bealtaine, when you see the bluebells out, a lot of people will have been told as children, you never ever step inside of a circle of bluebells or ring them by accident, because the fairies will be awoken, the malevolent spirits, and they will hunt for the one who disturbs them. And of course we know now that that tradition, it used to be linked to the idea that they are poisonous, the bulbs are toxic to humans, and to keep children safe and keep them away from harm out in nature in Ireland, we keep them away from the bluebells, lest they fall into that eternal slumber. The same as the princes of old when they came out here in April and were never awoken again. Now guys, thank you so much. Happy Bealtaine to you, and we'll see you in the next video. Please support the channel, follow, share, and if you enjoy it, just let us know what you want us to do next, and we will have so many more exciting videos planned. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Slán go fóill.